Welcome, everyone. Today, we are going to talk about some smart money moves that I feel like I have made this last quarter that are going to help me going into the new year. How this last quarter goes can totally wreck our budget for the whole year, even if we've done well. And sometimes the spending in the fourth quarter can get away from us because that seems to be the quarter that really hits our pocketbooks. So I hope you will stick around as I share with you a 20-minute recipe I made out of the freezer and pantry and tell you about some of the decisions that I made this fourth quarter to help myself moving forward. I hope you'll stick around. How has your year been going so far? I've spent a lot of money this year getting some things done on my house that I've been wanting to get done for a while. And even though I got some really good deals and I got the work done that I wanted to get done, it still hit my savings pretty hard. So I want to work at replenishing some of that. I'm still okay, but spending a lot of money at once, I think, makes any of us nervous. So we had a couple of floors replaced, we had new carpet put in, and before the carpenters showed up, we had an opening between my office and between the living room that we felt like was kind of a area that caused our living room to be colder in the winter time. This office in here, I don't really care if it gets cold. I can always move to a different room. It has a lot of windows, but the airflow between the openings that are in this office affect how warm the rest of the house is. So we have an old house on our property. It's very old. It's falling apart. There's not much left to it. It's probably going to be gone very, very soon, but it had one really good hardwood door left in it that matched the era of my house. So my husband spent an entire day on his day off taking out the door jamb, taking out the door, and putting it between my office and the living room to help secure the heat in that room so that our room will be more cozy come wintertime and hopefully use a little less propane. I also had a CD coming due, and I had to make a decision whether to renew it or whether to roll it back over into savings. I had a 4.09 interest rate on this 91-day CD, and I've been renewing it about every 91 days because the rates have been just about the same, and 91 days isn't that long. So if I had something come up, I could make it the 91 days. But this time, if I would have not rolled it over, it would have dropped to 0.35%. So I chose to move it into a 6-month CD that was 4.0 interest. Now, I could have put it in a 13-month CD also at 4% interest. So depending on where you're at, sometimes your money moves may look different than someone else. So for me, 6 months means I'm locking in that rate, but I only have to worry about not being able to access that money for 6 months. I still have a little bit of savings left that I can access, but that money would be tied up. Now, if I locked it into a 13-month, I would lock in that 4% rate, which is a really good deal. I might not be able to get that rate in 6 months when mine comes due, but I also can't touch that money for 13 months. So I chose to go with the 6-month route, but some people may have chosen the 13-month route and thought the 6-month route was not a smart money move. We all have to make money decisions based on what's going on in our life, based on how our money looks and how our spending is looking and what has come up and what is going to come up. There are so many factors that come into making money decisions, and we have to do what is best for us. I chose the 6-month route, but again, I'm sitting here thinking in 6 months, I may not be able to get that 4%. And that's just a risk that I'm going to have to take not to tie up my money longer. One of the ways that I am trying to save money this quarter is by using a lot of the things that I already have stored up. I would like to have a smaller pantry area that doesn't take up so much floor space. I would also like to lower how much is in my freezer so I can catch some of those holiday deals. So in this next little clip, I'm going to show you one of the recipes I made this week out of freezer staples and pantry staples. I hope you enjoy. I'm starting out by making my rice. I have 2 cups of water and a cup of jasmine rice. It seems to cook quicker, and I don't boil my water first. I just dump it all in at the same time. I think that saves me a little bit of energy on how long it cooks. And while this is cooking, we'll mix up the rest of the recipe. For this recipe, I'm using half of a Polska kielbasa that I had in my freezer. This one has no corn syrup in it, and those are getting harder to find. I'm also using some frozen red bell pepper, some frozen onion, a half of a cup of chicken broth, a can of tomato sauce, and some diced garlic. I have sliced up the Polska and it made quite a bit. I'm going to spray a frying pan and saute this, adding in my frozen onion and my frozen red pepper. My rice is almost done, so I'm going to shut it off and use the residual heat and cover it so it can continue to fluff. Now that it has all sauteed and heated up, I'm going to add in the diced garlic, and I'm just going to add 2 tablespoons. I'm going to saute that just for a couple of minutes and then add in my half of a cup of chicken broth and my can of tomato sauce. This is just a quick 20-minute meal that I can throw together easily with pantry staples and things from my freezer. That's why I like to keep frozen onion and frozen peppers chopped up in my freezer because it makes throwing meals together like this so fast. The sauce is heated up now, and so we're going to add in our fluffed rice. I have a partial bag of mozzarella that needs used up and a partial bag of Italian cheese that needs used up. So we're just going to use that as a topper. And to make it pretty and add just a little bit more kick, I'm just going to add some of my homemade Italian seasoning spice. It's kind of a dark, dreary day today. That's why it kind of looks dark in this video. It's been drizzling and cloud cover all day. And when I turn on the light, it kind of glares. So I hope that you're able to see me all right. One of the things that I wanted to talk about is during these home repairs, when we were walking through the department store the other day looking for a new light fixture that had a pull chain. I still have light fixtures like that in this house. It made me realize and think about the times that I used to buy things in those stores and then they didn't get used. I had great intentions of either this was going to be installed or this was going to be painted or this faucet was going to be installed. And then things would sit around and they wouldn't get used. And I would put money out for these items and then they just ended up sitting here. That was one thing I realized in my thinking as we were walking through there, that everything we were buying that day was going to be used in the next 48 hours. It was going to be installed, it was going to be painted, it was going to be used. And I've really changed my thinking, especially when I started heading towards retirement, that I wasn't going to buy things that were just going to be sitting around here anymore, that I was actually going to use the things that I purchased. Honestly, I still have some things that came from those home improvement stores that never got taken out of the box and never got used. I don't shop like that anymore. I have changed my outlook on what I spend my money on, and I make sure that if I am picking it up, it's actually going to benefit me in the next few days, or I'm not putting it in my cart. We're at the end of baseball season. We're at the end of soccer season. We just went to our last little dance show for my granddaughter before the holidays. So, other than those few things that I just mentioned, a lot of my running around now is coming to a screeching halt. That will help me when it comes to running around on gas. It will maybe also help me that it's fall and we haven't had to turn on the heat yet. I'm going to try to wait as long as I can. I've already put on a sweater today. I have a electric blanket that I can wrap around my legs here at the desk or wherever I'm at. I have my winter clothes pulled out, so I'm going to try to layer it up before we turn on the heat. And I'm also going to be trying to cook from our pantry and do a lot of bulk items, stews, casseroles, any of those things that I can bulk up to use up some of the things that I have so I can pack rat as much money as I can here in November. I'm going to be going to my son's in Southeast Kansas for Thanksgiving, so I won't be putting any money out on a Thanksgiving meal. And I will be able to take some food with me, but it won't be like providing the whole thing. So November should be a good month for me to be able to save some money and use up some things that we have and put some money back in my checking account and get ready for December, where it will be more expensive because the heat will be on, Christmas gifts will be purchased, and that sort of thing. Let me know what you're doing right now to save a little bit of money going into this fourth quarter. I would love to hear from you and hear your ideas. I always learn so much from you guys, and I hope you've enjoyed this video where I am chatting about how I am going to stay secure in this fourth quarter so it doesn't affect my first quarter of next year. Thanks for watching today, and I hope to see you in the next video.